got up before dawn just to bring you
Top of the morning from beautiful downtown Baltimore.
Top of the morning. Top of the morning to all of you. Hi, top of the morning. Top of the morning.
Hi, I'm James Lewis, and we are live at the Geppi Entertainment Museum here in Baltimore. I have to tell you, I am in my element here in this museum. The museum has a lot of iconic and historical pop history memorabilia, videos, items for sale and purchase, all going back to really show how pop culture has influenced this country and the people who live here. If you're a big comic book fan, this is the place where you want to be. If you're a big comic book fan, you already know who Steve Geppi is with Diamond Distributors, Geppi Comics, Geppi Entertainment Museum right here in Baltimore. He is the man when it comes to getting comics out to the world. And I must tell you, I have just been blown away with a lot of the stuff that they have here. Movie posters, books, interactive puzzles, models. If you're an action figure collector, they've got some really great pieces here, some great statues, and comics going all the way back to, you know, Action Comic #1, which introduced the mighty Man of Steel, Superman. So, guys, sit back, relax. We're going to take you on a little tour and show you what's going on here at
I'm Rachel, and we want to talk to you guys about the museum that we're at today. We learned so many amazing things. It brought us from as late as I Love Lucy to as recent as Twilight, and this is one of the things that we loved.
The Crybaby poster with Johnny Depp, and I know that part of the movie was actually shot down the street from me, so I thought that was pretty cool, and I haven't really seen all the movie, but I really want to.
Well, everyone loves Johnny Depp. We all know that. He's been in many, many movies from back then and now, too, that all ages can enjoy. And that's what this whole museum's about. It's about things from as late as Disney, old Disney, to the more Disney Channel, recent Disneys. So, we want everybody to come by and check it out.
Hi, we're here in the Roy Rogers room at the Geppi's Museum, and there's quite a display over there of holsters and guns and collectibles. Of course, Roy Rogers, probably the most popular cowboy that ever lived. Just a wonderful person. I was very fortunate. I met him 3 times in my life. He had a TV show. Of course, it was always Roy and Dale and Bullet and Pat Brady and Gabby and Nellie Bell and Trigger and Buttermilk. It's just a wonderful show and a lot of collectibles. There's some Hopalong Cassidy stuff over there, and Red Rider, Paladin, Gene Autry. It's a pretty neat run.
Yes, it really is. And there's enough in here for everybody to get a good flavor of the good Western days. And probably while arguably Roy Rogers was most famous, I think probably Trigger was perhaps the most famous horse.
Oh, without a doubt, he was. You might get an argument that Gene Autry was as popular as Roy from some people, but nobody was close to Trigger.
Right, yeah.
I don't know whether anybody knows it or not, but I believe they just sold the stuffed body of Trigger for $250,000. Mayberry Channel, Mayberry RFD Channel bought it, and now it's touring the United States so people can actually see it.
When I die, donate my 87 Lash LaRue comics. Ohio, and once in Waldorf, Maryland, La Plata. They opened a Roy Rogers restaurant down there. Picture taken with it, but you couldn't have time to talk to him here, so people are just swarming him. Sons of the Pioneers were the singing group, and Floyd Willing and the Riders of the Purple Sage replaced them.
And welcome back. James Lewis, and I am here at the Geppi's Entertainment Museum here in Baltimore with my good friend Andy Hirschberger. Andy, thank you so much for having us here today.
James, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I've been taking a look around the Entertainment Museum. It is a fabulous place full of so much nostalgia, pop culture, located right here in Camden, in Baltimore. Yeah. And Andy, I got to ask you the question that everybody asks for a place like this. And
sure.
Are you a fan?
Of course I'm a fan. Why would I work here if I wasn't a fan? This place is a fan's delight.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for 5 years. The museum is actually celebrating its 5th anniversary this September, September 8th, 2011.
Is there anything planned for the anniversary? Any big happenings?
No big happenings, but we just want everybody to know we're still here and we're still visitable and we'd still love to have you.
Tell us a little bit about the setup, and I noticed you got different rooms and they have different themes.
Well, we try to set the museum up in a timeline to create sort of a historical perspective for all the toys. I mean, we could just fill a room filled with toys and say, figure it out for yourself, but then it would kind of be more like a flea market and not a museum. So when you come in, you get to go to various eras. You get to see what your grandparents would play with in like 1700s, or the 1800s, or the 1900s, or even like just a few decades ago. We've got a whole room dedicated to the 30s and 40s, 40s and 50s, the 60s, 70s and 80s, contemporary era, and even before that.
You know, it's so historical. You know what you have here. When you come in, it's like going through a timeline. And even when you come upstairs in the elevator to the museum, it's actually set up like a time machine. And you can really see a lot of the pop culture shows that were on television, going all the way back to when TV was just becoming that family tool with I Love Lucy. Yes. and things like the Three Stooges and Roy Rogers and Howdy Doody and all these iconic shows that are on TV. And you actually have some interactive displays, correct?
That is correct. We have comic kiosks in the comic book room where you can actually read the text and see the images from Fantastic Four #1, Detective #27, Superman #1, Fantastic Four, and so on. We also have a treasure hunt game. You go through the room with the little treasure hunt card, put it under the kiosk, it asks you a question, run around the room, try to find out what the answer is, come back, and if you get enough correct answers, you get a prize at the end. And then we have a mechanical bank interactive, where in the 1890s they had mechanical banks designed to trick children into not spending their money on candy.
Did they?
Yeah, exactly. They would have these mechanical banks, you'd put a penny on there, pull a lever, and it would magically do something. Like maybe it would be a monkey dropping it into a coconut shell, or Jonah having it flung off his back into the belly of a whale. And these were phenomenally successful phenomenally successful engineering feats, because these toys, these examples that we have in this interactive, are over 100 years old and they still work beautifully.
Tell us a little bit about not only what the kids get to do from the interactive standpoint, but how many of them actually come through maybe in a given year or month?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not privy to the numbers. I'm more of a curator, associate, a registrar. and I maintain the collection, so I don't really focus on visitation, but we have, it seems like every day I'm here, we're always pretty much full.
I noticed you have a lot of people here today that are walking around, yeah.
We have, we find that a lot of parents, when they bring their kids, have a possibility to connect, where the parents will show what they played with when they were children, and the children get to show their parents what they play with now, and they create a dialogue, the nostalgia factor for the parents, the charm and whimsy for kids to see things that were from a yesteryear that are still fascinating, like clockwork toys and wind-ups, that you just, I didn't realize you had toys like that when you were a kid.
I know, my kids think I just play with rocks and sticks.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I do. I'm a big rock. I'm always out in the garden, you know, and I don't have this one yet. I live in a big rock field.
So now you have special displays too. I think you have a special
we do.
display room that's going on right now.
We have a temporary exhibit room called Special Edition, and in there right now we have an exhibit called Out of This World Toys. And Out of This World Toys is focused on sci-fi toys from the American-Japanese perspective. The American toy manufacturers would create little robots, sci-fi toys, stuff in like Seen in Forbidden Planet. They created toys on it. Well, in the Asian markets, they really liked this. They connected to it, so they started making toys very similar to this. And when they would then, the states would import them, people would buy them. But usually, the kids would find out that the toys created overseas are far more intricate than the ones created in the states. They have a little bit more detail, a few engineering tricks that would make them a little more interactive, and we have those on display. So it's like a nice, charming thing. And even the print mechanism, the lithography on the sides of these tins is sometimes superior to their American counterparts at this period.
So how long will this special display be viewable?
It's going to be open until June 2012.
Great, great. So we'll have to swing through there and take some nice photos.
Oh, well, please do.
Sounds like the beginning of the Japanese anime, manga relationship that we have with Japan now.
Well, it definitely was. You know, comic books started in the United States. They were, during World War II, the Japanese really responded to them. And now manga is probably, it's not even considered, where in the States comic books aren't considered as educational as they truly are.
Right.
In Japan, they're considered like works of art. And a lot of this is the beauty of cross-pollination.
Right. And they're not just for children. I think that's, you know, an important thing to really stress. The museum is not just for kids. There is a lot of nostalgia and pop icon history here for adults. I know just as I was walking through, I was able to see a lot of things I hadn't seen since my childhood. You know, and it brought back a lot of fond memories. But you know, there are books that can be purchased here by the public that are very educational. Toys, games, all of these things can be used as learning tools for your children, and you can get them right here in Baltimore at the Geppi's Entertainment Museum. So let's talk a little bit about your bookstore. You've got a lot of neat items in here. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Geppi's Comic World, which is the name of our gift shop, which is named after Steve Geppi's original line of comic shops throughout Maryland, Geppi's Comic
Which
World.
I used to be a customer of in Silver Spring, right there on Fenton Street.
I used to buy mine from the Inner Harbor. They used to have a little stand down there. I would buy them all the time. But now we've brought it back. It's the gift shop, and we try to have artifacts here that relate to what's in the museum. Pop culture themed toys, Batman toys, Mickey Mouse toys, Beatles toys. But yet at the same time we also have books, a lot of books featuring comic collections, classic newspaper strips, comic book collections. It's it's supposed to be a continuation of the idea of the museum. Now you've seen artifacts of the past, now it's time to get stuff for yourself in the present, to remind you of your stay here, something to correlate with the experience.
Yes.
And we've tried to be very good about that, keeping our characters in the museum tied into the characters displayed in the gift shop and vice versa.
And what hours is the gift shop open?
It's open the same hours as the museum. We're open 10 to 6, Tuesday through Sunday.
Okay. All right, so if you want to come down, take a piece of pop culture history home with you, come to the Geppi's Entertainment Museum here at Camden in Baltimore.
And I have one more thing to add. The gift shop does not require purchase to the museum. So if you'd just like to come down and do some Christmas shopping or seasonal shopping, just ask if you can go visit the gift shop and no charge.
Come on down.
I'm Andre, and I wanted to talk to you guys about Popeye. I remember growing up watching Popeye like early in the morning. I used to grow up in Jamaica, so we didn't have much like cartoons and stuff. So like I remember watching Popeye, Olive, and the guy with the hamburgers. Yeah. Like this is my childhood. I've never seen anything like this. This is like the first time I've been in this museum. Wow.
My name is Grace, and I really like over here because it's Mickey Mouse, and when I was a little girl, I used to love watching Mickey Mouse on Disney Channel, and I also like the Snow White because the 7 Dwarfs are always so funny because there was Sneezy, Happy, Grumpy, and my favorite was Happy because it reminds me of my sister because she's always so happy. And then Sneezy would just always sneeze everywhere. And Snow White is my favorite princess. And
hi, I'm Victoria. This has got to be my favorite room in the whole exhibit. It's filled with my favorite thing in the whole world, comic books. They're just so colorful, and just the stories that they tell are so amazing. Some of my favorite in here are Superman. His powers are impeccable, and how he can change from a regular man into a Superman, crazy.
Hi, my name is Sahara Alexander, and we're in Geppi's Museum. Here, my favorite exhibit is Batman and Robin, and some of my favorite musicians, which is Aretha Franklin and James Brown. They have a lot of collectibles like Barbies and collectible cars, and maybe some planes right here. I'm really big on cartoons because we don't have the cartoons that we had when we were little, when our parents were little, that they have now, and I'm really amazed that they still have it around.
Well, welcome back. I'm going to tell you, next to comic books, one of the best things that I love about the Geppi Entertainment Museum are the action figures. I mean, you can see a lot of toys that go back to, my childhood, all the way up to where we are today. And if you're a collector like me, then you know that, collecting action figures and toys is a multi-million-dollar business. And here in Baltimore at the Geppi Entertainment Museum is a great place for you to see some of the more historical toys that were in existence, all the way up to date to things that are currently available for you to purchase in their store. So if you want to come down, take a look at what's going on. We've got everything: Superman, Batman. We've got some of the latest pop culture figures that are out for recent movies, which includes the Transformers, the Smurfs. We've got things for Pirates of the Caribbean. They have a really diverse merchandising section here in their store. If you're a big werewolf or vampire fan, they've got Eclipse figures and games and items that you can purchase here. It is really, you can spend hours just walking around, and even if you don't purchase anything, just walking around looking at the items that are here for sale. But you can find some great gifts. So if you get a chance, come on down, check out what they have. I think you'll be impressed.
my name is Angelique Danielle Ritter, and what I learned about is Yellow Kid with my mom. And as you can see, Yellow Kid had big ears, a yellow suit, buck teeth, and wear no shoes. So now, they made buttons in the old days to put on your shirt, and some had yellow kids smoking. Back in those old days, they didn't know smoking was bad. But now today, we all know smoking is bad. This is Angelique Ritter speaking. Bye.
Hi, I'm Andrea Harding, and in this room I saw a couple of things that I liked it. I liked the Pac-Man, and I seen Ronald McDonald's stuff in here that I thought was pretty cool. I saw some stuff about Michael Jackson and Tina Turner, and I saw Miss Piggy, which I think she's really pretty, and I saw Gizmo, which I think he's really cute and fuzzy, and I saw some things about Care Bear and some E.T. things, some stuff about Star Wars that I thought was pretty cool.
I hope you enjoyed the show here at Geppi's Entertainment Museum. I'm your host, James Lewis. Until next time.